Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Wiley Blevins, author of Sadlier's From Phonics to Reading program. Not only is this an award-winning program, it's also highly reviewed and rated, receiving all green meet expectations from Ed Reports. This program is built on decades of foundational skills research, including research I've conducted on topics such as fluency, reading decodable text, and high-impact instructional practices. The DNA or the underpinnings of the program are outlined in the paper I wrote for the International Literacy Association called Meeting the Challenges of Early Literacy Phonics Instruction. In this paper, I detail the 7 characteristics of phonics instruction that must be in place and that are key cornerstones of the From Phonics to Reading program. I also outline the 10 reasons based on my research that phonics instruction sometimes fails, including a lack of review and repetition cycle, which is why there's a robust review and repetition cycle in From Phonics to Reading to ensure mastery. We know that great phonics instruction must be not only systematic and explicit, but also cumulative to ensure fluency. But these aren't just ideas. What's really exciting is that now we have a ton of data showing that it works. For example, I work here at schools in New York City. One of the schools I work in is in a high impoverished neighborhood. Many of the students speak a language other than English at home. This is a school that several years ago, when the principal took over, only 9% of the students were reading on grade level. The principal and her team have been working really hard. A couple of years ago, we implemented From Phonics to Reading. And in the first half of the year of that first implementation, you can see our grade 1 scores. 51% tested above grade level expectations and 20% on, meaning 71% of our students were on or above. That was just the beginning, and we've gone even further since then. Really exciting data. Here's another example from a Catholic school here in New York City, second grade data this year. We know how difficult it is to move the needle in second grade. You see at the beginning of the year, the number of students in the red or the yellow, not good. By mid-year, using From Phonics to Reading, we were able to eliminate the students in the red. In addition, I was involved in a 2-year study in a rural district in Ohio, funded by the Ohio Department of Education. We had a third-party independent research firm look at this data, and here you see some of the statistically significant gains that students made. In the fall, 47% of the students assessed were identified as requiring intervention or urgent intervention. But by spring, only 16% were still requiring some type of intervention. Amazing. And when we look at the grade 1 students who were at or above benchmark, in the fall it was only 11%, but by spring it was 68%. All of this attributed to the guiding principles in the strong instruction in From Phonics to Reading. But we haven't stopped there. Every year, I am in classrooms working side by side with teachers, studying the program, looking, are there any things that we can fine tune to accelerate student growth and to make the program easier for teachers to use? So, for example, I work in a lot of classrooms where the students speak a language other than English at home. So we have to contextualize everything we do in our phonics lesson. So the great folks at Sadlier created a digital tool to make this easy for us, for our teachers, to save them a lot of time. So if we're sounding out the word sled, many of our students don't know what that is. I click on a button, picture of a sled pops up. I click on another button, and children can hear a clear pronunciation of sled, both in English and Spanish, a tremendous time saver. I always talk about how it's in the application where the learning sticks. There are tons of decodables, as you know, in the student books and also the fluency booster, but teachers have asked us, can we have even more? Can we have little books that we can use during small group time that we can put in our book baggies that we can put in our classroom library? So we have created a knowledge building set of decodables called Decode and Discover. These have really fun formats, a lot of interesting, engaging nonfiction with really cool photos, even some stories that are in a graphic novel kind of format. But what I like even better is when I would be in classrooms watching teachers, they would say, I don't have time to create all these lessons for a small group time and what have you. So everything you need for your lesson is actually in the book. You need a sound spelling card to teach the new sound and spelling? It's in the book. You need blending lines to practice? To warm up, it's in the book. In addition to vocabulary, comprehension questions, background knowledge read aloud is actually in the book, writing frames, and even a mini reader's theater play for additional practice. High quality materials that will make your lives easier. For those of you who have students who need a little more support, tier one, tier three, tier two, and tier three instruction, they need more intensity, more practice, more time. We've created building reading success that works perfectly with from phonics to reading. Here again, we do more than just phonics. We do spelling, we do writing, we do syntax, we do morphology, we do text cohesion, all the things that these students need for that extra support. And by popular demand, we've also created Sadlier Pre-K, which includes our early literacy library, which are 11 beautiful knowledge building alphabet books that can also be used with kindergartners at the beginning of the year if they need that additional support. All of these resources are grounded in my belief and the belief of the team at Sadlier that giving the gift of reading is one of the greatest gifts we can give children because it's a gift once given can never be taken away, but will forever transform a child's life. I think it's an honor and a privilege to give that gift to children every year, but also an enormous responsibility to do it right and to do it well. And to do it right and do it well, you need high quality instructional materials like from phonics to reading, which is grounded in the research, in evidence-based practices, and also has a ton of data showing statistically significant gains. I want to thank all of you for everything you do to give the gift of reading to your students, and I celebrate your successes.